So this is my small off-grid shop, and we've been running this kind of as a test for the past 9 months, and we found some good things, and we found some things that need improvement. The things that need improvement, I've only got 2 100-watt panels on the roof, but we do plan on changing that in this video. I also only have 1 LED light for the whole shop, but we plan on changing that in this video as well, thanks to some thanks to some jacks. Third time's the charm. Thanks to some things some people said I should do in the comments. Suggestions isn't the word we're going to use a lot of today. And I've only got 3,000 watts of storage down here, and I can only output 120 volts. We plan on changing that too, but kind of. We'll have a discussion about it. I don't even think Bluetti knows that I'm doing what I'm going to do with what they sent us, but I'm doing it, you know? Like we're just doing what we want. Tripping over tractor panels. So quick shop tour in case you're new to the channel so you know what we got going on in here and what we use this for and how it works for us. I will definitely tell you all the things I love about that Bluetti, and I will tell you the things that I've had some frustrations with that Bluetti as well, and then we're going to get into the improvements. So if you've never been here before, we've got the old Miller Legend propane powered welder slash generator. This is what I used to use for all my power over here, but as you can imagine, listen to this thing run when we're just doing things like charging batteries or running the drill press and things like that, can get pretty old. So we wanted a solution for nice, quiet power. But to get grid power here, we're not far from the grid, but we're far enough away that we have to drop a primary and a transformer and a secondary, and the cost was going to be pretty up there. So we started looking into alternatives, and that's when we stumbled across the Bluetti system. We just got some basic tools, nothing fancy. Little Temu shelf, huh? It's your basic pole barn shop. There's nothing fancy. And we've just got this highly organized workbench. Very nice, fancy. Yeah. Highest of quality. And then this is the current Bluetti system we're running. This is the AC300 with the B300 battery, so 3,000 watts of storage. And then we've got all of these outputs, 20 amp outputs. And we've got this bigger output here. We've got some USB-Cs and then some 12 volts up here. And then our data center here, it is raining outside and we're not getting anything right now. And using 69 watts with our one light there. I've got that wired so that plug runs up to that conduit, comes around, and then feeds my panel. We're just kind of setting everything up as if we ever get grid power one day. And then we've just got the one outlet for battery chargers and things like that. And then the little 12 volt diesel heater that's we plug into there because it also can run 12 volts, so pretty handy. And then we got our little disconnect breaker for the panels up top that then runs down through there and feeds our system. So the first improvement we're going to do real quick for the off-grid shop is we're going to put some new lights in. We got that hardwired light up there, and I'll show you, but we put a junction box. We left a junction box up there so we can add an outlet, and then in line with it, because tons of viewers suggested it because they've been using them in their shops. These are nothing more than LED strip lights that just plug into an outlet. They're not hardwired to a switch. We're supposed to be able to plug them in that port there. And then they got these little connectors and we can just daisy chain some together. Oh, that's not, I mean, we get 6 of them in here. They'll light up pretty good probably. Okay, let's see if we can get them installed. And it came with these little spring clips with the hole, so we'll just screw that to the rafter, and then looks like it just clips into that. So as far as usage and output of this AC300 B300 that I have been overly impressed. I've ran my pancake air compressor off this, no problems. My drill press, no problems. My bandsaw, this digital ultrasonic cleaner from Vever, no issues at all, and that thing pulls a tremendous amount of power. Of course, battery chargers, my little Chicago electric benchtop grinder, and then these lights, my 4-inch grinder. I mean, anything I have that's corded, you've seen me use corded in videos in the past 9 months, I've been running off of this little Bluetti, and it's been fantastic. Now, a big concern a lot of people had, and I had myself, was that the solar panels wouldn't be able to keep up. And that's definitely the case this time of year. In the summer, it wasn't bad. I'm not over here every day, all day for 8 hours. I'm normally over here for maybe 4 or 5 hours, and then it might be a day or two until I come back over. So it's got plenty of time to recharge in the summertime, and I didn't have to do any recharging with a generator. Now in the wintertime, I do have to recharge it a little bit with my propane powered welder. Not a big deal. When I'm doing big power, like if I'm gonna run my plasma cutter or my wire welder or the welder to do stick welding, then all I gotta do is fire up that propane welder. Not a big deal. That handles all the big power I need, and it's only 86 bucks to refill this propane tank. And on average, I just refill it twice a year. So it's not an inconvenience at all, and it works really well. And what I do when I'm running it is I just run a cord on the Power Y welding outlet on that welder back to the Bluetti, and it just kind of charges it as it can. The only big issue I have, and I'm gonna put this in the same terms as the person that explained it to me, that told me this is what you need. The way they explain it to me, I'm gonna explain it to you. That generator puts out dirty power, and the Bluetti does not want dirty power to charge with. It wants good, clean, consistent energy. So we put this device in between the generator and the Bluetti, and he said it's basically, think of it like a filter for the electricity. It makes it consistent, it calms it down, and it makes it what that Bluetti wants. And it has worked fine since we put that in line with it. Absolutely zero issues. Honestly, I'm overly impressed with this thing, and we're gonna kind of change our plans for the long-term picture of what we're gonna do with the Bluetti in this barn. It's a no-go with these. They're not this. There's no light. They don't put anything out. We're not going with these. I'm not putting effort into something that's not going to work. This is why I'm always so cautious with viewer suggestions. There have been several good ideas. There have been some of these. That's okay. We've got this cord reel up here, which works like a champ. But to utilize it, I got to run an extension cord from here back to the Bluetti. So I want to run an outlet up here so we can just leave this thing plugged in like that. We're going to run this in conduit. We're going to tie it into this panel. It's nice to have a place to work when it's raining, that's for sure. I'm not the best at bending conduit, so we'll just start here and start long. By the way, don't shove your tape measure in the bus bar there. Yep. It's gonna take me 27 minutes. The odds we hit this open panel with this while I'm not paying attention? No, it's there. It's there. You wanna feel like an idiot, just bend some conduit. You wanna be an idiot, do it on camera and make a YouTube video out of it. It's starting to look like something. How's that happen? Some people measure, we're just guessing. Mainly because I don't know what the heck I'm supposed to be measuring, you know? So, what good would it do me? Okay. Oh gosh. There it goes. Oh, there. Yep, there she goes. I still have some Romex left over from other projects. That's why we used it in the conduit last time, and then we're still just running out what I got left over, so I don't have to buy anything new. If I was going new, I would just buy the actual wire. They sell just the wire, THHN, TWHN. I never can remember letters like that. Anyway, it's basically the wire without the insulation on it. It's a lot easier to pull, but we're gonna do this as we go. Man, it'd be right if we were going the other direction, huh? Hey, okay. there's this into the operation. So now we can just do this. And that's going to be fantastic because we had been running an extension cord all the way back, like we said. Keep things a lot nicer and neater for us. I killed the panel to make the connection so there's no lights, so I didn't video it. Also, lack of evidence. Let's see if anything blows up. 1, 2, 3, go. Very fancy. The rain is supposed to let up shortly, and then we're going to try to get those other 2 panels up on the roof. But while we're waiting, look at our patriotic lineup, huh? Red, white, and blue. Isn't that fancy? While we're waiting, so we've got part of the outlet problem fixed. Probably shouldn't sit on the battery, but here we are. Let's talk about building the system to make it bigger. Now, Bluetti did send us a second one, so that's fantastic. There is a catch to that, though, and I'm going to explain that here in a second. I think you'll be happy with it. We're actually not keeping this. But here's the thing with their systems. You can put 4 B300s per AC300. So you can get 12,000 watts of storage per unit. But again, that's only at 120 volts. But you can charge this with just off a generator, off your grid power. You can charge it off solar, wind, whatever. It's got multiple charging inputs. So with this system working so well here, here's where we're at and what we would like to do. We'd like to build a full system out of this. A total of 8 batteries and 2 AC300s. That would allow us to have 24,000 watts of storage. We can put out 240 volts with it. We'd like to build the system in the pole barn, and then since we have to trench from here to the transformer, and then from the transformer to the YouTube yacht, since that trench has to happen anyway, if we decide to do grid at some point in the future, in theory, we should be able to feed the YouTube yacht from our battery stations in the pole barn. That's the plan. We've been very happy with it. The yacht's not going to get used every single day. It's going to have time to recharge, and over time we're going to build up our solar array. So hopefully we'll be having faster recharge times anyway. They do advertise this as portable versus a complete home system that's not portable, that's super heavy. It is heavy. There's some weight to it. You can break it down and carry it section by section, so that is kind of handy. Here you go. Plug it. There's a lock on there so it doesn't come out. Same thing on the bottom. Plug it, lock it, power on. So the display is pretty intuitive, but it'll tell you what you're bringing in solar, your DC load, your AC load, what you're bringing in grid power if you got the grid plugged in too. You can charge from multiple sources at the same time. You can also discharge the same time you're charging. DC outputs are all labeled, AC is all labeled. If there is an alarm, it'll show up there. It'll be audible too. You'll hear it. And then if you need to know your alarm history, that all should be in here. No alarm history. There you go. All your info, battery information. Like we said, you can hook up 4. You can see we've got one hooked up. It tells us what the percentage is. It is Wi-Fi and Bluetooth capable, so you can download the app and look at all that information there as well, remotely, if you so choose. That's it. But this one's going back in the box. So you know why we want 2 AC units, and you know why we want a bunch of batteries, because we're going to off-grid the YouTube yacht. This is the YouTube yacht in question that we're going to hook up to grid power and then backfeed from the meter base to the barn, which is just through the woods over there, a few hundred feet away. It's a seemingly forgotten project where we're building a boat-shaped rental cabin. We haven't built anything for months though. There's a big picture plan here. It's just, we'll explain it in a few videos. But you don't know why this is going back in the box. Although I would love to keep this and start building up this system. I saw a Facebook post the other day where a local marching band was having a fundraiser. to get a battery unit similar to this so they can use it for their shows. And I thought, I don't know, I mean, I can buy one in the future. You know, we can start paying for this stuff in the future whenever we start building the system up for the YouTube yacht. We're not in a huge rush for that. So why not get this thing from Bluetti and just give it to the marching band, you know? They're looking for it. They want it. They need it. They're going to get it. It's as simple as that. I got to turn this stuff off. One of the cool things about YouTube is it gives you some cool opportunities. And if we're in a position that we can help somebody with the influence we've got, why not? Also, if you think it should have been donated to something else or a different cause, there's a link and some information in the description for you. It's still raining a little bit, but not too heavy. Let's see if we can take these fancy solar panel brackets I picked up the other day for free and get our other 2 panels up there. These are the exact same panels we put up the first time. They're Renji panels, 100 watt, 12 volt. I think I paid $150 for 2 of them delivered. Well, let's get on top of my favorite type of metal roof, a wet one. I mean, you guys are coming with me, so locked, excellent, excellent. I don't even remember how we made this in the first place, so let's figure it out. Or if you do, just make sure, are you recording? Yeah, as long as we get it on camera so it can pay for the deductible. How long is that rig? So we've got 2 rails now. Beautiful, just free pieces of angle. Can't beat it. It ended up raining the rest of the day yesterday. And I made the decision to not install solar panels in the rain this time around. Following morning, we'll do it today. You make a couple little brackets out of this scrap steel we got from another project. Hey. Some carriage bolts I got laying around. Well, there's the rail that's going to go on the ridge, or the rib of the panel, I should say. The fanciest of paint jobs. Just trying to keep the rust at a minimum. Let's we'll go ahead and set these panels up here so they're up here. Now remember, if they're taking sun, they're creating power, right? So they're creating electricity now, but the way they've got everything taped up on the backside, the wires are protected, so that's good. They do make, like, you can buy racks, you know, like the whole thing. You can make it look real, oh, that's good, professional. Here we are doing this. So we got that all on there, and then it's got a drill hole there and up there. So there's 4 100-watt panels mounted. Definitely have room for a 5th. I'm gonna go ahead and get one ordered. Certainly not gonna hurt my feelings. The hard part of building the very fancy bed rail system, I mean, that's finished. We just gotta bolt a 5th one on, would be good to go. Let's go ahead and get these things connected. Hopefully we can sneak underneath here and make the connections. The only thing, I might have to make another home run here, but I don't know. Oh, Mike, were you smart enough to leave yourself room to expand the system? I mean, come on. This guy, he thinks of almost everything. What a guy. Because we're gonna run this. Oh, it's worth mentioning, I did shut the disconnect off down there. So whenever we're messing with this, it shouldn't be messing with the Bluetti at all. That disconnect I showed you earlier. Now what we'll do is we'll run this. Let's run it under. You are as surprised as I am that I was forward thinking enough to leave myself enough slack to do this. Absolutely wild. Okay. And we'll hook it into this positive. Yep, there's the positive. Boom. And then we just go negative to positive the rest of the way down. Negative, positive. I'm betting, even though they call these 12-volt panels, they put out more than 12 volts. So I'm betting we're probably gonna be around 80 volts now. We're fixing to find out. I think that's all the connections. Yeah, looking good. And we were getting 83 watts before I shut this off, right when I came up to make the connections here, so. Looks like that's working. Let's see what we're getting in here now. So it was 83 watts before we added those 2 panels. Keep in mind, they're 100-watt panels, but you're only gonna max out your wattage when the sun is just, you know, right over it, cramming down into it. And right now, with 4 100-watt panels, it's 11 o'clock, and the sun is, you know, we got the winter sun going right now, so she's off at an angle. We're pulling in 220 watts. So that's pretty exciting. Very exciting. I'm curious, let's see, somehow I should be able to know how many volts that is. PV input. Yep, that was my guess, 80 volts. There we are. Now keep in mind this can take up to 150 volts on input. Probably safely add 3 more panels, so we have like a 700-watt array. And then the second array, because you can do 2 solar inputs into this unit, the second array, maybe we'd bump up to 200-watt panels, and then we could do 7 200-watt panels, which is 1,400 watts, which is what the max input is. So that would work fine. And then that would give us 2,000-watt input on this. I mean, that's not bad for one array. She's at 250 now. She's loving it, and I'm loving it. I think we'll be set for this winter. I don't think we'll have to fire that generator up at all. The biggest draw is going to be the fan for this diesel heater, right? I just don't understand the science behind it, but I understand the result, you know? There's electricity going in, goes into a battery, and then I can do whatever I want with it. So there you go. That's my 9-month review. Some more improvements to this shop. I got to get some better lights. Those ones I ordered just aren't cutting it. This is fine, but it's also $99 a light, and that seems expensive. I am still open to your suggestions in the comments, even though those lights came from the suggestions in the comments. We'll try it again. What's the worst that could happen? I'm going to work on a $500 Cadillac today. I don't know what's going on anymore, really. Bluetti's been great. No complaints. We're going to keep building the system. And, well, that's it. Yeah, I'm distracted by the fact that I said $500 Cadillac. Okay.